Hi, Ralph and Lonnie D'Amica is back again for another issue of Planetary Calendar, this time for May 2025. If you have your calendar, you can follow us along. If you don't have your calendar, pick one up at planetarycalendar.com. We're going to start off with the first week, but we're actually going to do 10 days.
Yep.
Because we did a little bit of the first, second, and third at the end of April, if you're all following along. But we'll just recap them quickly and add them to this 10 days because we want to really make sure that May doesn't feel slighted.
Right.
So we started off with a Cancer moon, and there was a lot of social stuff going on, but not a lot of big, heavy hits. I mean, the third was one of the biggest, most social days, let's put it that way, with all that activity above the number. Remember, that's aspects that the moon is making to those planets.
You know, and we're moving towards the full moon now. So energy is, gradually coming up. But the day you really want to talk about is on the 4th, okay? And on the 4th, see there's a black box there. It's the sun square moon, but it's really about Pluto. Pluto is turning retrograde. And up to this point, all of the planets have been direct. So it means things are moving along really, really well. But Pluto is now kind of digging his feet in a little bit and slowing things down. And as we say it here, this is the first subtle hint of slowing. But it's not until July that the other planets begin turning retrograde and the pace slows significantly and rapid progress will be harder to achieve. So you'll get that kind of sense of it as with Pluto, but it's so subtle because it's Pluto after all. It's 3.5 billion miles away. It's only the size of Australia. So, and then on the next day we have the Cinco de Mayo, so La Fiesta.
And the Eta Aquarid meteor showers.
Which is very, very nice.
It's a smaller one, I think.
There's also Mercury sextile Jupiter that day. It's a great day to have like conversations, don't you think? I mean, there's a real shift there as with Mercury being sextile Jupiter. It's a great time for, conversations between people, developing relationships.
Well, and generosity. These are open and inviting conversations. This isn't like butting heads or anything that sometimes, when Mercury is sextile another planet, sextile Saturn, that could be a little bit of more of a challenge. The Jupiter is much more open and inviting.
And also Mercury's moving very fast right now. Mercury's going to go in the course of the month, it starts off at 15 degrees Aries. On the 10th it enters Gemini, its ruling sign. And then, it's in Aries and enters Taurus on the 10th, and then it enters Gemini on the 25th. So things that relate to Mercury, communication, writing, any forms you have to fill out, any kind of legal things you have to do, these will move along really fast. In fact, there's only one other planet in the month that's going to change signs. So the fact that Mercury is moving fast, and it's making a sextile to Jupiter, who's in Gemini, what's called the ruling sign of Mercury, really does encourage communication, encourage relationships. A great time to develop relationships.
Remember, there's a little void of course in the morning, but that shouldn't be too problematic, especially since the moon is coming off of Leo.
Right, and then on the 6th, you have the sun trine the moon, one of my favorite aspects. And this one means that things, you have the wind to your back, things will move along, and then you also have Venus is sextile Pluto. Once again, you're not going to feel this directly, but that moon trine the sun, I think people really do feel that, and the moon's in the sign of the goddess, Virgo. So it's a very good day for getting practical things done.
And remember that the triangle is the most stable figure in geometry. So to have that nice trine between the sun, your ego, and the moon, your emotions, is a really good balanced way to approach a day, especially a white circle day. And a white circle day is not just a day to start something new. It's a day where there are not any impediments to whatever you want to do. So whether it's a new project or not, it's just a good, easy day.
And those trines are all about broad communication. Okay. Now on the 7th, there's no aspects on the line at all. All the aspects are on the moon, because that's why they're above and below them, above the number. There's a a trine over to Uranus, so it could be kind of an exciting day. But there's also a square to Jupiter in opposition to Saturn, so you're going to have to work today. This is going to be one of the days you're going to have to buckle down and get some things done.
The void, of course, is overnight, so it really shouldn't be affecting you at all.
Yeah.
And on the
Thankfully.
8th, it's again one of these what we call social days, when there's only aspects to the moon, whether they're above or below. A lot of stuff is going on with your peer group, kind of, or coworkers, or
There could be some arguments with the moon going into Libra and the fact that the moon is supporting Mars and challenging Venus. There could be some little, there could be some discussions going on in the course of the day. Then we go on to the 9th, and the only thing going on there is a nice trine between that moon in Libra and the trine to the Jupiter in Gemini. So once again, great conversations, very socializing. You know, it's just a really lovely day.
it's funny. The whole week is kind of relaxed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not causing anything to happen. You know, even the days that do have the aspects, the 5th, the 6th, and the 4th, 5th, 6th, have aspects on the aspect line, but a lot of them are very calm and supportive. You know, the ones that repeat, the sun parallel moon, the sun trine moon, we have them all repeating aspects all the time. Even the other ones are with Jupiter, Venus, Mercury. It's just a very kind of a relaxed day. The biggest turbulence is on the 4th, when Mercury, or when Pluto, the other Mercury, goes retrograde.
Well, I think it's interesting that, I think when the sun is in Taurus, which originally was the sign of the cow, it should be a relaxing month. It should be easy. And finally, at the end of the week, Mercury's going to enter the sign of Taurus, once again, the sign of the cow, and it's going to happen, and then the moon's going to change sign into Scorpio, the sign of the eagle, at just after noon at 1 o'clock.
So remember that those aspects below the number are in order of which they occur. So since the moon won't be opposing Mercury until after it changes into Scorpio, then the square to Pluto will happen even later than that.
Exactly.
So come back and see us next time when we do June.
Yes.
And see us on YouTube. We're at Planetary Calendar Astrology, but we're planning some new drop-ins in between the forecast. So check us a little bit more often, or better yet, subscribe and hit that bell so you get a notification when we post anything, forecasts or whatever surprise we may have in mind for you. And you can always get your calendar at planetarycalendar.com.